Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 85.
Getting there.
We're getting there. The Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt training out of South Florida. Behind the camera, we have Bo.
What up, Bo?
Moo.
Miguel riding. Shotgun. Shout out to Britt Tavar, our booking manager. She's putting our awesome guest list together. So thank you, Britt. Joining us today is 6th degree black belt Richard Bresler, who is Rorion Gracie's first student in the USA. He is widely considered to be the first American student of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Somebody's got to be that guy.
Yeah, he's also the author of Worth Defending, How Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Saved My Life. It's a story about his 40-year involvement with the Gracie family. All right, so stay tuned. Check it out. He is he's a returning guest.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
All right. Support for the Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast is brought to you by MANSCAPED, the best in below the men's, below the waist, below the men's, the best in men's below the waist grooming. MANSCAPED offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They recently launched the Platinum Package, right? This is officially the Platinum Package 4.0, which we're going to show some stuff during kind of mid-episode. We got a box of a bunch of new goodies that they sent us.
Tip of the spear.
Along with some of the other goodies we've gotten. This creates, now we have like what people would get in the full Platinum Package. Yeah. All right. So join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code JJD20. Again, at manscaped.com.
Free shipping, man.
We are also sponsored by a company that has a special place in my heart. Black Belt Digital Marketing.
I know those guys.
Anything you need to build your website, web design, Google Ads, graphic design, SEO, anything digital, anything online, print, we do that as well. I was talking about every door direct mail today, those mailers, those annoying mailers that we get in the mail. Yeah. We even do that. Check us out on Instagram at Black Belt Digital Marketing, or visit our website and you can request a free online review, and it's bbdigitalmarketing.com. Man. All right, shout out to Neutral Zone, fast becoming my go-to in
CBD.
Recovery. I'm actually back to training.
Hey.
One day a week. I I'll hurt it again, and then it heals in a week, and then I can hurt it again. All right, so we'll get to Neutral Zone in a second. I actually started going back to a chiropractor.
All right.
So I had visited him once, almost a year ago. Went back.
Getting adjusted.
I told him about the pain. He's like, let's just come on in. We'll see what we can do. He's like, maybe it's your back, maybe it's a muscle. We'll figure something out.
Like a compensation.
Yeah,
thing?
he was, hooked me up. He does a great job. Does lots of it's Dr. Neil Scharf at Parkland Chiropractic in Parkland, Florida.
Free shout out.
So long story short is I do all their therapy. I feel good. Something's always hurting, little headaches and neck and whatever. But he was like, okay, walk down the hallway, walk back to me, like kind of seeing, like kind of how I was walking.
Checking you out.
And I stopped midway and I stretch and I'm like, ah. And I put my hand right where it is. He goes, do that again. And I did it. And he goes, come here. He goes, I think I know what it, I think I might know what it is. And he says, I didn't realize, like, your pelvis, right? The pelvis bone, the pelvic bone, right? It's really two pieces, right?
Yeah. Well, it's one piece, but it's
no,
like
it's two,
you're right. It's two.
halves.
Yeah,
There's a ligament
in the middle,
there, right?
There's a ligament.
He goes, you may have, like, the bone, I think, the way he said it, might have kind of shifted out from, like, the ligament, like, kind of maybe gone forward a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're feeling that pain somehow. Man, he was like, I won't say what we had to, like, hey, move this guy over and let me, like he started like pushing down and putting his fingers in my gut. And he used he was like sticking his fingers like almost under my ribs. And
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. A couple of days, next day felt the same. A couple of days later, for the first time, I felt like the pain went away a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, let me train.
Significant
and I went to train. I was able to move more, but I still, because of the motions, kind of hurt myself.
And you still
I hurt it a little bit. I strain it. For now, I figure I can I'll strain it. I'll see him on Friday. Go back to jiu-jitsu the next Tuesday. See if I could do that until I'm 100%. And I'm like pretty much just rolling with like white and blue, which I don't know if that's a mistake because they're just crazier than the higher belts.
You should
but
roll
rolling with lower belts.
Yeah.
I bring it up when I'm talking about Neutral Zone because then I am using I'm using this roll-on right now.
The roll-on?
Actually, I actually think I have it in my bag. I'm using the roll-on. I take the tincture in the morning and at night. And I've also used the balm. I don't think we don't have one here. There's a balm, like a massage balm.
I got it.
And it's like it's really thick, so it stays longer than
it does.
This, right?
So you're finding your neutral zone?
Like a little bit more like I would compare it to like an icy hot feel.
Yeah.
But then the balm just it's really thick. It's like a
I use it.
I don't know if you would call that a salve. Do you is that a salve? Is that different than a
salve?
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
But it's just thicker. It stays longer. Like when I wake up in the morning, it's still there.
Yeah, it's like Vicks. It's like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah, like a thicker. Yeah. But it comes in like a big, like a roll on. It almost looks like it's. Don't put it on your underarm.
Yeah,
it almost looks like it would be for like.
It looks like the old school deodorant. Yeah.
So those are the three things that I'm using right now. So when I'm talking about Neutral Zone,
it's like a glue stick.
I'm actually using it. Yeah, it almost. Yeah, right.
It's like
I did it the first time.
Yeah.
Got to use my MANSCAPED, but it was had a little hair there, and I got it's in the hairs, and I was like
20% off, 25% off.
So shout out to Neutral Zone. I'm actually using the products. They are helping me. I feel better. I definitely get better night's sleep, especially when I use the nighttime CBD, with the melatonin.
Yeah.
So listen, no matter if your aches and pains come from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, or just the daily grind of life, which is the one that gets me the most, sitting, working during the day,
baby.
Neutral Zone has a product for you. Find your Neutral Zone by finding the best product for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle. Check them out at neutralzonecbd.com. Use code JJD for 25% off.
25.
And check them out on Instagram at MyNeutralZone.
Yeah.
All right. As always, Sean over at Flow and Roll, hands down the best custom gi and no gi gear in the business.
Holler.
Don't believe us? Visit them on Instagram at Flow and Roll, Flow_N_roll, and check out all of their custom designs they've created for academies across the country. They're even doing wrestling singlets. You can get T-shirt orders. They do keychains, any type of swag, lanyards for events. They do it all.
That's right.
Our podcast, I'm not going to get into it, but with our Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu rash guard is moving forward. Hopefully we'll have the final soon. And listen, go check them out again on Instagram at flow_N_roll.
Yeah.
Or the website flowandroll.com. Again, you use code JJD for 20% off. That's 20% off online orders.
Yeah.
Not if you're ordering gis for your gym and your no gi kits. It's not for that. But he's got an awesome kind of a pre-order program, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So if you are a gym owner, if you are a coach, you're looking to put together a new gi or a no gi set,
slide up in the
DMs. Give him a call. Give him a shout out. Give him a shout out on Instagram. Let him know the dummy sent you, and talk to him about how he can make it affordable to get you everything you need for your gym without sacrificing any quality.
I really hate this.
It's really a really cool program. So
help me help you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, literally, it's a couple of $100s that you would lay out, and you'd basically be selling your products on the website to your students.
Yeah.
You still make what you would make from, like, if you sell your gis for $150, you're selling your gis for $150. You're still making your profit. You just don't have to lay out the money to wait till they come in house to do it.
Have inventory.
Yeah, he's gonna. You can still order your inventory, but he's gonna put your inventory together with pre-orders that your students made. They're going to get a really cool bag with their gi, with their no-gi stuff, maybe a couple of extras. Even we've thrown in keychains from the Jiu Jitsu Dummies in there.
That's right, stickers.
There are some really cool things that he does, and your students are going to get even more than you would be doing by giving it to them there, and the academy. But you're able to get what you need with very little cash outlay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you to the BJJ box. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box is delivered to your door, filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel. We've already eaten some of what's in that we're going to unbox later.
We were eating grappling apparel.
We got hungry. We ate some of the snacks.
No, we were reviewing the products.
We were reviewing the products. That's what we'll say. So, again, delivered to your front door, filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. They find the best products in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. I'm wearing one of the T-shirts right now.
I am. Yeah, I like it. I like the color, actually. Yeah, but it says, I'm allowed to say stuff, Milton. 6-minute rounds. Jiu-jitsu soap after.
Yes. Okay, so you get we have the VIP box. He sends us 2 T-shirts, but the typical VIP box has 1 T-shirt, and again, up between 4 and 7 other items.
Is that 1 6-minute round and then you clean yourself, or is it 6 1-minute rounds?
I don't know, but do you see the shaka? We have that element in the podcast. We're not copying, but we have that.
I mean, it's a pretty synonymous.
No, but the skeleton finger.
Yeah, dude, come on, man. Skull and bones and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, right. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, we're like grappling pirates.
Okay. Use code JJD10 for $10 off your first order at thebjjbox.com. Yeah. All right. And we're going to be unboxing later, so we've got some more stuff coming from the BJJ box. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before we bring out the guest, before we bring out Professor Bresler, is if you do buy anything from any of our sponsors and you use a coupon code, it's almost always JJD and then either JJD or 10 or 20, right? You can always go check out our Instagram, and it has them all laid out on our bio. If you buy something from one of our sponsors, send us a copy of the receipt. We'll usually confirm the purchase with the provider, with the sponsor. Yep. And we're going to enter you into a giveaway of up to $250 worth of jiu-jitsu swag. It's going to be podcast gear, probably some stuff from Flow and Roll, and maybe we'll even get some CBD in there.
I got to say one thing. Sean on Flow and Roll is selling those Queen of Hearts gear.
Yeah.
Well, I had a guest reach out to me.
Yeah.
They're like, the promo code doesn't work. And I reached out to Sean. I just want to let everybody know that he's doing that for somebody else. So the promo code doesn't work on that stuff. Yeah. Just to let you guys know, I had somebody reach out to me and ask. And
I actually wound up letting that person opt in. I think it's the same person. I think it's the same person that asked the question. Was it a female?
Yeah.
Okay. So she sent us the receipt. She said, "Let me know if does this work." I spoke to Sean. He goes, he looked at the order. He goes, they actually tried to put it in.
She showed me the screenshot with that too. Yeah.
So I messaged her and I told her, let me look into it. And then I told her like, hey, we're going to include you. So no worries. The Queen of Hearts is for, I don't remember the Instagram. I think it's like Queen of Hearts _FNR, something like that.
I don't remember.
And it's for a gym that he works with. They're basically starting a female line.
Is that the name of the gym?
No.
That's a dope name.
No. But it is a female line of jiu-jitsu apparel, rash guards, and I'm not sure what the totality of what he's going to offer.
They chose a good guy to do it.
But he is creating the gear. He's doing what he does for this company, and he's attaching his name to it. Obviously, he's very popular, and it's his gear, but it's kind of like their brand. So they're essentially partnering on it.
Yeah, it's a co-op.
So it's not typically if you go there, like we might not be able to accept every entry from there. But you can check it out, and we'll start talking about it. I actually talked to him about it yesterday.
I just wanted to clear it up.
Absolutely.
People are reaching
I'm
out.
glad you brought it up.
It's crazy.
No, listen, I'm not used to it. I'm happy to see that they placed an order, and he sees that he's getting those online orders from us as well as the gyms that reach out to him.
Yeah.
So
I got a yo when I was like yo.
All right. Anything else? You got anything? Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get this thing started.
You ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Professor Bresler in here.
Professor. It's Professor.
Hey, welcome, Professor Bresler. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I don't say that too often, but welcome back.
2 points.
Thank you.
You've met Miguel?
Yep.
Miguel is my trusty sidekick.
Friday Shotgun.
He's the McMahon to my Carson.
Wow.
No, is that an insult or is that?
Can I be the pallbearer to your Undertaker?
Okay, there you go. Okay.
McMahon to your Carson, man. That's going back.
I'm going to be 49 in a week.
I'm not that old. I'm not that old, so when he said McMahon, I was like, yes, a WWF reference, like wrestling.
He even called it WWF.
Yeah. Or
I remember
WWE.
those days.
Sorry, Wildlife Federation. Yeah. Wildlife Federation. Yeah, I don't want the panda coming after me.
So, Professor, thank you for reaching out. I know that we had a specific topic. We won't just stick to that topic today, but we'll certainly we're going to talk about it. But you did reach out to me. Do you want to tell me a little bit what was the reasoning behind you reaching out and coming back on the show?
Well, since my book was released,
that this is when you're supposed to hold it up. You said, "When my book."
Since my book
worth
was
defending.
released, worth defending on Amazon that has over 200 5-star reviews.
That's a lot. Very nice.
Black belts in particular have been reaching out to me, and quite a few people thanking me for writing the book, talking about specific things, talking about how jiu-jitsu is heading in a different direction for the most part. And it's kind of a sport aspect. And I don't think this would have ever really come to my attention as much as it has now because of people reaching out to me, thanking me for writing the book, and contacting me, because I really thought for a while what I was doing was irrelevant in jiu-jitsu because I wasn't in contact with very many people, because of how sportive and all the fancy guards and the stuff that they're doing now. I thought, gosh, man, everybody's like leaving me in the dust and they're doing this stuff. And then I realized through the people contacting me and like I said, black belts that have said, man, Richard, we have to stick to the roots and the foundation and the fundamentals. And I've watched other seminars, and they're being taught where the guy has to be very fit, strong, and fast to make all these things work. And that's not the jiu-jitsu that I learned. Matter of fact, that was the prerequisite of Rorion, saying you don't have to be strong, fast, or fit. And that's what attracted me to it. I'm going like, I didn't believe it at first, just because I always thought that big buff guy. But, nevertheless, I still kept doing it. And I saw what he was doing with the challenges and with what we were seeing when we would go to different schools back in the early days. And then he told me what would happen. He had, insight, and he said, Americans are going to take it, with the time they spend in the gym and all this stuff and how they get fit, they're going to be spending hours, which has happened. And then the innovative things that just happen when this many people get onto something. But I've seen a lot of the guys that are, I don't have to mention names, but all you got to do is look at their bodies, and these guys are not natural.
Oh yeah.
And it's what do they call that? They call that acai and Jesus. Yeah, that's the code. He actually taught me that. I never knew that. Yeah, that's the code for
in Portuguese, bombao.
Is that the other one? Yeah,
yeah.
I never knew that's what they called it. I've heard you say it before, and then
I didn't make it up.
I didn't know it was a thing. But but go on. But we agree with you.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
I made a comment about it because of the announcement recently from IBJJF with their both name is Pena, so like Alejandro Pena got he popped hot on a random test.
Oh really?
When he got first place, heavyweights world or absolute world, whatever it was, and then Felipe Pena ended up having it because he got second place, so they took it away from this Pena and gave it to
surprise, the steroids and.
He's the guy who's supposed to fight Gordon Ryan, I think, next month or 2 months from now. Oh, that $10,000 versus $50,000 fight or whatever it is, $100,000 fight.
But yeah, again, we agree with you.
Yeah,
we agree. There's a lot out there.
Sure.
It's a lot out there, but go on.
Yeah, and also the amount of people that are doing jiu-jitsu now and the injuries that I've heard about that since I'm close to Torrance, Gracie University, I go in and visit about once every 2 weeks, help out, teaching, walk around. And people are coming in from all over the place. And I'm always hearing about they stopped doing jiu-jitsu. They were in another affiliation. And, people that were in their 40s and 50s, and they got hurt and they said, this jiu-jitsu is not for us. And then they found an affiliate of Torrance, a CTC, Certified Training Center, and they got back into it. They decided to take a class, and they went, wow, we don't have to do this competitive type of thing, and we can do it in a controlled environment, because the masses aren't going to be, it'd be like, how many people in high school or college are in competitive wrestling? Not very many.
Very small.
It takes a very special fit kind of person to do that. And not to mention the injuries. So I'm not dissing that. I'm not here to say, only this kind of jiu-jitsu. I'm saying that learn the fundamentals, learn the foundation, and do something that will help you, because you might be that athlete that if he goes out in the street is such at the top of his game, if he got into a fight, you wouldn't have a problem. But what about his wife, his daughter, his sons, whatever, his friends? Unless he's at the top of his game, if they're doing a lot of the fancy stuff, they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's what, whatever you do when you're training on a regular basis is probably what you're going to do in real life.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, learn it all. Don't get stuck on one thing. And,
we had a guest on recently, Nick Salas.
I was going to mention that.
He was a brown belt on our instructor at Marcelo Garcia's in New York City. During the pandemic, he opened up his own gym with a friend. They're black belts now.
Yep.
He talked about being very honest with his students. And I took to his message because this is the way that I talk to people about jiu-jitsu. I don't own a gym, but when people ask me about jiu-jitsu, I usually ask them, well, what are you looking to get out of it? And based on that, I will tell them, if they're in my area, I might tell them, you should go to this gym. You looking to compete, you should be at this gym. Are you looking for self-defense? You probably, want to find a gym like this. I've had people, that talk about kids with bullying. I say, you know what? Find a Gracie, what's the bullying program?
Gracie Baja?
No, the Gracie University.
Oh, the Gracie University,
Gracie, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has the bulletproof program, right? I don't know if they still have it. I know they did.
They do.
I'll tell them and I know that I've looked it up online, and there weren't any certified training centers down here, I guess, for that specifically. But I will tell them, find a really good kids program where they talk about bullying, where they teach them about bullying, and where they tell them to use their voice first and get help, and then you might have to use your hands, and then you might have to get physical. But Nick was very honest with his students that come through the door that, look, we are selling the game of jiu-jitsu. We are selling sport jiu-jitsu. He had a woman, they said, that they spoke to that said she was recently attacked and she was looking for self-defense. He's like, this is probably, we're doing, X-Scar and Barambolos today, in practice. This is probably not what you're looking for. And that honesty was refreshing, because I know most gyms are going to say, just come on in. Come on in. They put you on the mat. Hopefully you take to it and you stay, regardless of why you got there and what you were looking for from jiu-jitsu. But, he was very honest. It's a good example of somebody that's really trying to make sure. I'd rather have somebody come in for the right reasons and stay with me for a really long time than come in thinking that this is karate, because, right, everybody thinks it's karate if they don't know about martial arts. I'd rather somebody come in and stay than come in, take a couple classes and go, yeah, this isn't what I'm looking for. This isn't for me. When are we putting on the gloves? When are we going to be striking? When are we going to do some boxing? And then I know plenty of gyms that it says, martial arts, kickboxing, self-defense, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and it's just a jiu-jitsu gym. So, that happens.
They got some pads in there.
Yeah. They have some grappling dummies and you can punch them, I guess. But it was refreshing, and I respected his honesty about, both sides of jiu-jitsu. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not a place for more an MMA style of jiu-jitsu, right? There's a place for old farts like me. I'm there for the self-defense, the exercise, and I say so I don't go crazy, right? The mental side of what it gives me. So that's why I'm there. I wouldn't be at a heavy competition gym where they're constantly preparing for the next Worlds, for the next IBJJF, the Pans, this, that, because I'm just going to get hurt there.
For sure.
I want to be in a place where other people are like-minded.
Old farts like you? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm almost at a half century. I think I call myself an old fart. I'm trying to do like my dad. My dad always told everybody that he was a little bit older than he actually was, so that he'd get the compliment of like, wow, you look good for 75, for 80, whatever. He's 77 now. He still does that.
I was going to say, like, the Gracie family did almost too good of a job spreading the word of jiu-jitsu, because now we have that, what you just mentioned. There's
all the different types of
it's a viable career now. Like, it's a hard road, but it's a road you could take. And we all know how much we love jiu-jitsu, so imagine learning that that's what you want to do as a kid. And if you want to make money at jiu-jitsu, you got to throw away that gi.
Yeah.
And you got to do no gi, because that's where the money's at. You got to do EBI. You have to do all the cross promotions. Hopefully make it to one championship, so you could maybe win a $50,000 bonus, or make it to ADCC, where, I don't know, you get paid in Bitcoin or something now.
But Professor, like, you say the black belts were coming to you, people that read the book. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what they were saying?
Well, I'll tell you one of the other things. As you guys were talking, I was thinking about the things that I've been hearing about. There is a guy who read my book about maybe 3 months ago, and he contacted me through Instagram. And he said, I read your book in 2 days. I loved it. I'd love to interview you for an article that I'm doing in some magazine in LA. So I said, well, great. I said, where are you located? He said, Santa Monica. I said, really? Perfect. I said, me too. I go, whereabouts? He goes, I'm on 4th Street. I said, I'm on 4th Street. And all of a sudden I hear this in my front door. No, I'm kidding. Anyways.
You had me. I was like, well, how did he get there?
Anyways, so we met, and he's about 5 years younger than me.
Youngster.
Yeah, youngster. He's in his mid-60s. And he goes, we start talking. And one of the things that has been a recurring theme over and over, and look, I'm not here to do a commercial for Gracie University or their certified training centers. It's just that they're the closest to thing that what I am personally doing and how I was taught. And what I'm talking about was, because he came over and shot some pictures for me, did a thing for my website, richardbresler.com/mag, did a jiu-jitsu magazine for me and shot some pictures, and he saw me teach the class. And he's been a student for about 6 months in another gym around here. And plus what I've seen from people coming in who have been doing jiu-jitsu, who, to me, if you've been in jiu-jitsu for about 6 months and you don't know the Americana, the Kimura, the collar choke, the rear naked choke, something's wrong. To me, those are the core beginning kind of submissions that you learn. And I've seen that these guys, because they don't have a beginning curriculum, they have guys come in and let their students, the other students, start to teach the beginners to try to get them caught up. And part of the problem is, if you have blue belts or even a purple belt that's not really a good teacher showing, one of the things that the enthusiasm that they have for jiu-jitsu, which I'm not knocking, is they want to show them everything they know. And it overwhelms. And I remember the thing, and I think it might be in my book. It said, if you want them to learn nothing, show them everything. And we can only absorb a certain amount of information. But people's enthusiasm, and that's what I see in seminars, teachers come in and they're not really good teachers, but they know a lot of moves. And they go, well, you can do this. I went and saw a seminar. The last 15 minutes, this guy went through easily a half a dozen moves. And one of my students was a purple belt. I called him after the seminar. I called him at night and said, say, how'd you like the seminar? And he said, 95% of it I won't use. and the other 5% I forgot.
Wow.
Because there was so much information. And unless you're doing it on a regular basis and drilling those kind of moves, it becomes useless. And so I really wish that more people would have some kind of a beginning curriculum, but it seems like no one does. Like
even if they want to be a competition school, they should have that beginning, the Jiu-Jitsu 101. It doesn't matter what offshoot your students are gonna, kind of follow, whether it's sport, whether it's self-defense, whether it's the MMA route. They need, again, the 101 version of Jiu-Jitsu.
Right. And I think, and even from the Gracie family members on Elio's side, one of the things that most people would agree on is that Rorion's probably the best teacher in the family. I mean, he is, when it comes to teaching, the guy really knows. And he was my personal, private teacher for about 10 years. Plus, I went through the instructor program. I was the first one to go through it. Me and 3 other guys went through it. So I learned the style of teaching that he does. And that's what I patterned myself after. But I thought if they had a black belt, they were just learning jiu-jitsu. But Rorion would say, no, it's not like that. But I thought he was just kind of saying, just kind of putting everyone else down to build himself up. Back then, that's what I thought. Now I realize that he knew something that I didn't. And so, it's the kind of teaching, it's what you're teaching. And, and then like I said, give them the foundation. If they want to go into competition, great, go. But you'll have something to build on.
Yeah. You made me think of a guest. I looked it up. So when you were talking, I wasn't being disrespectful here, emailing my wife. I was looking for, I always forget his last name. I know his nickname is Spider Ninja, but I always forget his last name. So it's Mike Spider Ninja Bidwell. He's well known for his BJJ After 40 page on, I think his biggest following is on, besides YouTube, is on Facebook. And when we had him on, he talked about, and I believe it's for this reason that you're talking about, he only starts students at a very set time of the month. So it's like, if you're starting, all of my new students will start on this day of the month. And I believe it's only like every couple of months that he'll do that, essentially accepting new students to come into the program. Yeah. And I believe it is because of that, so that they're all starting at the same place. Yeah, so you're getting the basics. Everybody's starting at the same time. Everybody's learning. If you want to go to his gym, I'm sure that he has higher belts that come in and out of the gym. But if you're starting in his program, if I'm not mistaken, it was like one day a month or one day every couple of months that you would be able to go in. So, there are people out there that agree with you and and would do it that way.
My gym also has a beginners program, and it's 2 set dates. It's not like that. That's pretty smart to build a batch. So that way there's also some cohesion, because I'm sure if more people go through it together, then it'll build more of a bond, and that's probably good for business. But we have beginning classes, and I mean, I am a beginner, right? In terms of like, you think about a 7th degree black belt. I'm a blue 6. Congratulations in advance. and I'll sometimes the only time I have to go is a beginner's class. Yeah. And I like it.
I love the 101. It's a great reminder.
It's like rereading a book that you like. Yeah. It's like, I already know what I know about this book, but I forgot about this, and I didn't view that chapter how I viewed it back when I first read it. Like,
Professor, I say this a lot. My favorite part of jiu-jitsu, and not just because of my age now, from the beginning, I was helping my instructor. I was teaching as a white belt because I was his first white belt. I was his first real student. He had one female that was a friend of his wife that was there for like 2 classes and never came back. But he had opened up his gym. He was a family friend through my wife's family. I met him, and I was his right-hand man. I would go, and sometimes it was just us for 2 hours. So I wound up getting my blue belt in 6 months. I was there 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. I trained like crazy. I asked him if I can
Sometimes
compete.
you opened it.
I golded. I did gold on my first event, double gold. And I earned that blue belt in a much faster time, especially again because people. And I was teaching at white belt. I was running kids classes. I was helping him. I said this on the last podcast. I feel that my technical jiu-jitsu, that my technique, especially in the basics, was better then than it is now, because we did have the first hour was a beginner's class, and we did beginner stuff. You know, we would swim. You swim. When you swim, we did all the basics. We would do sprawls, and we would swim, and we do sweeps. That was the whole class, and then we got like 10 minutes of rolling in. And then the next class, the advanced class, if you stuck around, then we pretty much just stretched and then went, anybody that, if they weren't there for the first class, stretch, and we would just pretty much roll for that whole second, what he would call an advanced class. But I feel like my jiu-jitsu, when I think back, I'm like, wow, I was so much better at these sweeps back then than I am now, because I did them all the time. I had an hour to do them every single day, 6 days a week. And I just don't do that now. But
Put in the reps.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of gyms don't have a beginner's class. It is just kind of throw them in. And again, I was saying one of my favorite things to do is teach. I love, like, give me the new white belt, especially if he's a bigger guy. Give me the new white belt. Coach knows that my coach has a joke. He says, look, Milton, this is what Amazon Prime just came in for you today, because he'll give me like the really big guys. And again, I love going through, like, everybody else we'll do the move of the day with everybody, but then when we're going to roll, I'll kind of take them to the side. And okay, look, let's get into my guard. Let me show you kind of just a little bit of guard passing. I'll go in your guard, you'll be in my guard, and so on. But I love that. That's my favorite part of jiu-jitsu, is teaching and showing other people and seeing somebody use a move that you showed them. That's fulfilling. I like that part.
Yeah. It's a good way to teach.
I mean, nothing feels better than when I show a move and the guy will be sparring a little bit, and then all of a sudden they'll come up to me after their spar and they go, Richard, what you showed me really worked.
Yeah.
And I tried to show you the shit today, but I guess, you were really lucky, because that's never supposed to work. Of course it's like,
and I love those details. I love, like, especially if I'm rolling with somebody and they do something, I'm like, if you would have just put your hand here.
Yeah.
And like you give them that little tiny key that they're like, oh, wow, it never works for me.
Know what?
Oh, wow. Oh, that guy, now it works all the time.
To me, I feel like the secret sauce that a lot of people don't talk about is you can be really good at a move, but you also have to know the second part of the move, which is when to use it. So it's like, you're not going to crank on a Kimura,
from the back.
Or something weird like that. You're using a spatula as a hammer.
Yeah.
I believe it's a combination of being taught also, which I feel a lot of coaches, at least that I've seen lately in my small career, they're really starting to explain concepts and like how the body works. And then based off of that, then you learn how the body should be positioned in order for you to take advantage of that move. And then it's learning the transitions. That's way more advanced. But still, like, not only knowing, like, oh, I only know a Kimura and a choke, and I should know when I should do a choke and when I should do a Kimura, right? That's the other.
Of course, yeah. Professor, I have a question. You kind of you said a little something before, and I thought you were going to go down a certain road. When you kind of say the new, like, these new moves that they're doing, or this, like, fancy stuff, like, I don't forget, I'm not quoting you, but, that I think most people's minds go to the leg stuff. All this new leg, is that what you were talking about? Or were you just talking about anything like guys going in
different kinds of guards?
Yeah,
the different kinds of guards,
like squid, and
and I honestly I haven't really kept up with them, because if it's not a good guard for self-defense, it's like
don't do squid guard.
No.
It's the worst one.
Don't even know what it is.
It's when you pull out their lapel and then you stick your foot in the lapel through it, and then you'll pass the lapel underneath your leg, so it's trapping.
You already lost me. I pass it under.
Yeah,
your leg. I'm ready. I'm not going to do that.
No, but what I'm saying is, like,
for me, I'm just never going to.
If you're like, let's say, walking around the lake in Michigan and happen to get in a grappling fight during fall when somebody's wearing a jacket, you're not gonna pull guard, unzip their jacket, and then do lapel guard, because then the guy's just gonna yank up on it.
That's a sport. That's a sport.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu move.
Very specific set of
and
things.
And again, I think just like Professor Bresler was saying, is I'm not hating on it. It's just not for me. So why I'm not going to hang out over there.
Did you also?
I've watched people do moves, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to do that.
Right.
My back isn't going to let me do that. My body doesn't bend that way, and I know that's just going to wind up leading to me. Yeah. So I'd rather be over here, do the basics.
Yeah.
Do that move 10,000 times. Right. What do they say? 10,000 times.
Yeah. You hit them. You hit them with the sharks.
Just keep on, hitting them with the things that I like and that that float my boat.
Yeah.
And again, the things that I just think work for my body. It's not everything.
I have a question. What do you think about, not what do you think about, did you also come up learning these very basic self-defense moves in no-gi as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, during the summer months, because we were in the garage, and some of the summer months, can get pretty hot. One of the things that we did for, maybe 2 or 3 months out of the year when we had class, we would come in and just wear gi pants. We wouldn't wear shirts. So, so when it was hot and sweaty, and you're talking about not wearing a shirt or a rash, well, there weren't rash guards.
No.
And, trying to do a submission after you're rolling with somebody for 30 seconds to a minute, you just slip and slide out of everything. Remember, back then, there was no such thing as one of your sponsors, Manscaping.
Yeah.
But,
oh, yeah.
I mean,
right?
we had, hairy chests and, just bigger guys. Just, you get in a north-south position and someone would drop their sweat.
Oh, Bo's fantasy over here.
Yeah.
I'm
so
heavy breathing.
We did no-gi stuff. And we always started the class with self-defense. And then we had a certain amount of classes where you do just punch blocks, just to deal with stuff in the street.
Green light, red light. That's what they do. You're in the green zone or you're in the red zone. And when you're in the red zone, you got to close the distance. I think that's like a Gracie combative thing. That stuff.
We were before the, we didn't call it that.
Yeah, man.
But I understand what you're talking about. But because like I'm saying, most of it was private. So, he just realized that, when you're close enough, when you're super close, you can't do a lot of damage. And when you're far enough, you can't do a lot of damage. So that would be your analogy of red light, green light.
Cue the dramatic music.
It's actually pretty good. $110.
Gentlemen,
free shipping.
All men strive for gold in their life, right?
Yeah.
Gold medals, gold watches, gold everything.
I like platinum too.
However, there is a certain type of man who goes the extra mile. He walks with the confidence of an eagle and giggles in the face of danger.
Khabib?
He's a big, hairless, winning machine. And when he unzips his pants when he unzips his pants, he sees platinum.
Platinum.
That's right. Manscaped would like to introduce you to their best and biggest ultimate hygiene bundle, the Platinum Package 4.0. Cut to the website, Bo.
Oh, look.
How convenient.
Manscaped is a leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now trust them with the whole shebang. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping, worldwide shipping.
Worldwide.
With code JJD20. Now, we just got a bunch of gifts. So, Bo,
hold on.
If you're showing the Platinum Package 4.0.
Yeah.
So we had the 4.0.
We got the 4.0.
We got the 4.0, not the Platinum Package 4.0. We got
the 4.0 package.
We got...
It was a performance package, I believe.
That was the performance package, yes.
4.0.
Yep.
Right. Now we've gotten the rest of the items to round out this package, and then we got something else we'll go over at the end.
You regular people don't get this, but we got T-shirts. Just
Regular
yes,
people.
we also got T-shirts
Right here.
Yeah, you Manscaped on.
holler.
So let's do kind of like a quick unboxing here. So
Commoners.
go ahead and,
Man,
and I'll
that's
let
it.
you read off what
It's game over in El Baño at home.
what as far as
Shh, look at this.
the space.
Look at this. Look at all this cool stuff I got now. I got a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner.
You
feels
can read
heavy.
them off. I'll give them the.
You get
I'll give
more
them the
shit to
camera
Yo,
take care of.
anybody? I live up. My house is like split level. You know what I'm saying? I sleep upstairs. Anybody breaks into my house, they're gonna catch that one in the dome. That thing's heavy.
You got more
do you
shit to
got?
take care of your balls now than your wife
No,
does
this body
to
wash
take
is his
care
whole
of her
body.
hair.
This is all the skin that's surrounded.
This is
of that
shampoo
skin.
and conditioner.
Yeah.
This is body wash.
Body wash. Daily shower gel. I don't read French.
Okay.
Reach French.
Yeah.
Gel de douche.
Yeah, the douche.
Pour
Ooh.
tous les jours.
Woo.
Yeah.
Gel de ducha diario.
That's something
Those are
I
like
can
people
call
who wear
Right there?
affliction t-shirts, right?
I love it.
A douche.
I use body wash.
What'd
you say?
I said
heard
those
you.
are dudes who wear affliction t-shirts, right?
Oh.
Is that how you say it in French?
Yeah.
Douche. There goes that demographic. Hydrating body spray, lightweight, and quick drying.
Very cool.
Holler.
It's like a
I'm sure it's aerosol free.
lightweight and quick drying. Very cool.
Nice.
Zero residue.
What is that?
Deodorant.
Deodorant.
Shout out to Tony, bro. I love you, man. That smells like now my whole body can smell like my balls.
Deodorant.
This is the deodorant.
That's the deodorant.
Yeah.
That's for your nuts?
No, dude, it's for your these.
Oh.
This is like full body care right now.
No, we
This is
have
the rest of the
this is
Manscaped.
so crop preserver and the crop reviver.
Mhm.
We have for the jewels.
Again, aluminum free, vegan,
Oh, so this is for the
Paraben-free,
rest of the body.
dye
This is-
free, and cruelty free.
Very cool.
This is to
Even
take
to the
care
people-
of the rest of your
Deodorant.
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 Very cool. Thank you
Deodorant.
guys. Thank
So
you,
now-
Manscaped.
A cruelty free. Now when we put them in that headlock, they'd be like, I don't like this. I'm a tap, but it smells nice. Lip balm. Balm those lips.
Dude, that's
right.
the smell
Oh,
I
very-
would put
look at
if
this.
I'm
3
going to
of them
go
in
out
there.
and just like,
Yeah.
Three.
Lip balm. We don't know
And-
if
and
we
just
don't
so
know.
They sent us
that's a cool smell.
It's
three
for
of
all of us.
everything.
That's a
So
cool,
we're all,
that's a
Bo, you're going to
very-
get to test this stuff out as well.
That's a cool smell.
That's what the
So-
crop preserver smells like, man.
You're going to have to take a shower.
Yeah.
I know. The bad news,
Come on, bro,
you're going to
man.
have to take a shower.
Hey, eyes up here.
Eyes up here, baby.
Eyes up here.
So a
check
3-pack?
that out. Yeah, but look how they packaged it. So it's like the perfect symbol, actually, that way.
We were talking about that last on one of the episodes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, balls, heart,
3-pack?
all of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also a
Got
3-pack.
that.
It's a 3-way
Heart,
symbol,
and
too.
it's also
Yeah, we all know what's up. It's all,
All right.
it's also,
Very cool.
those are the underoos, but these are the new underoos, right?
Yeah,
New
what else you got there?
underoos.
Yeah,
Nun-
I'm
Okay.
going to open one while you're doing that.
Okay,
Not blowing you off.
We got,
Nundaroos. There's an underoos.
so we got the ultra,
this?
the
Look at
ultra
that.
smooth package.
Wait, hold
These
them
are
up
mediums.
again.
These
Hold
are
them
yours.
up again. Hold them up again.
These are yours, Bo.
Oh,
I love gold.
what are those? Really tiny, small?
Yeah.
Is that
Medium.
the one with the small bag in
Medium.
the front?
Medium. Yeah, extra small.
Extra,
Extra
small in
small.
the front. Good.
Just in the crotch.
These are yours, by
Yeah.
the way, Bo. This is your size.
Mine are like
I said
extra
extra,
small in the front.
just in the
yeah.
crotch.
Mine are
Yeah.
almost girls' underwear.
I got really
So-
big thighs.
So, Bo, let's show. So we also have.
My nuts are so small.
These are the ultra smooth package. That means it'll last longer for you. All the product.
Mine
you
are
know,
ultra
like-
So
smooth
now-
anyway. Mine are like 2
Were
pimples.
you able to open that?
Yeah, I'm able to
Okay.
open it. I was just
So
wanted to
this
show the
is.
packaging.
So we also received the ultra smooth package.
Comes with awesome instructions.
Yeah.
Crop exfoliator. You know what I'm saying? You got to clear those pores out. You got clear groin shaving gel. Right. I'm sure that's step 3 over there. And then step 4, they give you the little razor type.
For those who
Yeah,
want
my-
to get a close shave.
My lady has something very similar to this, and I'm gonna have her test it because it's like essentially almost the same type of design. So let's see how it compares.
What is this?
Oh, dude, that feels good already. I felt hers. The one she uses, like dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Bam.
Wait, that's a razor?
Yeah,
It's
it's so
razor.
you
Yeah.
a closer feel. Para aquí, para allá.
Well,
¿sabes?
I
So
know
then
what
you
to
want to
use.
get a skin shave?
I know what
Yeah,
it
para
is.
Very cool.
Para aquí, para
Hey,
aquí.
thank you. And there's a bunch of extra razors in
Yeah,
there.
5 I counted.
Replacement.
Plus the
Okay.
one that's on here, so that's 6.
Thank you, Manscaped. We're going to
Manscaped,
try all this stuff
holy
out. We'll
smokes.
report back over the
Oh.
coming weeks.
By the way, I just used the 4.0 head to toe.
Gotcha.
You trimmed your hair. You trimmed your own hair.
Trimmed my own hair. Face.
Yeah. You went as low as you can go. You went skin again.
It went skin again,
which leaves a little stubble, right?
Just a little bit. Good. It actually looks
what
cool.
order? Like what order did you go in? So
there's a few. This was over the weekend. So Sunday. What was it? So.
Where'd you start?
I also went full body, and I used the guard, the little trim guard for downstairs for off-roading.
Off-road.
And
you put the skid plate on?
Works fucking great.
I love it. Yeah. I'm about to.
I went front and back because it was like hell down there.
I used to burn it off before MANSCAPED.
And it was easy though. It was easy. That's what I liked about it. The guard slid easy. It wasn't. I don't know.
The credit card. Like,
it stays locked in. Yeah, that's the test.
It stays locked in.
I do love. Listen, I love everything about it.
My card's been getting declined less and less. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. Again, thank you to MANSCAPED. Get 20% off and free shipping with code JJD20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free
shipping.
Worldwide shipping.
Mr. Worldwide.
At manscaped.com. Use code JJD20. It's time you enjoyed the finer things in life and get yourself a platinum package for your platinum package.
Let's go. I hope they secretly are trying to get Mike platinum. You know, that UFC.
Oh, no. Well, he's probably a good fit for them.
He's the platinum package, baby.
All right, guys, let's get back to the show.
Woohoo!
So let's try to bust a myth here, and I think you would be the right person to do this, is, people calling leg locks, ankle locks, knee bars, for a while, that was the new jiu-jitsu. That was like the American style of jiu-jitsu, that people added that stuff later. But there's old video of people doing ankle locks, and that is a myth that wasn't already part of jiu-jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, absolutely. And we weren't doing to the extent, but just like the moves that have been, innovative, just different kinds of, I went into to Gracie University just a few days ago. I think Monday of this week. And I went in I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd drop in. I brought my gear just in case. Oh. Well, Rorion Gracie was teaching, and I didn't, I came in with jeans and a t-shirt, and then Rorion was there. So I walked out to my car and I grabbed my, shirt and my gi pants, and, and Rorion says, "Richard, where's your stuff?" And then, because I'm friends enough with him. The class was probably at least 50 to 60 guys.
Wow.
So when I'm in the class, and there's another black belt teaching with Rorion, I was fortunate enough to spend about 20 minutes out of that hour. Rorion came up and showed me things, but just the details of escaping the rear naked choke, just the stuff that I've never seen before. Like I just the way that I do the triangle now, from what Rorion showed me to what Rorion showed me back in 2010. Everything has changed so much, just like the legs. We were doing foot locks. We were doing, when did the new thing with leg locks start to come in? Like
2 years ago, super mainstream. I would give it 5, but
say maybe 5 years ago, where it was this was a thing, and then again, people were talking about it like if it was new. Wow, look what I've just discovered.
Yeah,
it was almost given that impression, like they were like they forgot about the first. They were the first adopters of early adopters of leg locks, and again, then it goes back to that stuff was already here. We may have forgotten about it. Maybe you didn't learn it, but it existed,
and they weren't watching the UFC because they were doing.
We did foot locks, and we started doing heel hooks. Matter of fact, I started teaching heel hooks maybe the end of the 90s or early 2000s, and I kind of stopped doing it because, remember, I was in a Krav Maga school, and I don't teach in a regular jiu-jitsu school anymore. I did at one time, but one of the things is when you teach guys that aren't in a school and they learn something, they may have come from schools, they've spent some time with me, but male ego is male ego.
Awesome.
And especially when they're beginning. And when I started teaching this, within 3 months, I had 3 guys out on crutches from doing heel hooks. And I told them, I said, guys, no more heel hooks. I said, if you want to set it, if you feel you have it, but then let it go. Because if the person, it's a straight foot lock is one thing. But when you're a beginning student and you think, I can twist out of this, I can do this. And I said, the next thing, you tweaked your knee. I said, it's not worth it. So we were doing this stuff. And that's why in competition, they won't, I don't know when they start to let foot locks or heel.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, at brown belt.
Okay, yeah.
Brown belt in competition just started 2 years ago in IBJJF competition.
Okay, where you can at least have some kind of control.
You can do heel hooks, no gi heel hooks at brown and above.
Yeah.
Right.
And not even not master. What is it?
I'm not sure about the masters division.
Like
it's
adults.
just it's brown. It's brown
adult,
and black.
I don't know if it like masters and executive.
If you're brown or black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that they don't allow it.
I don't know. It's like the
adult,
reverse kids.
Well, go ahead,
competition.
Professor.
One of the other things that I've noticed too, that they, I mean, like I was telling my class last night, I said, back when I did, when the in-house competitions, when we were still in the garage, there was only a handful of us. There was slamming. I mean, you could be in someone's guard, and if you lifted them up, they better let go of the guard, or they're getting popped on their back. And you're taught. I mean, that's the way Rorion said. Look, if you have a guy in his guard and he's bigger and stronger, it lifts you up, uncross your legs.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've changed the rules because, I mean, we've all seen it when the guy all of a sudden will be down and he starts to climb up and hold on to the guy. And I'm going like, oh my gosh, you do this in a fight on the concrete or even on grass where it's hard,
or
it's over.
Or what happened to Marcelo Garcia when he won, what was it, like heavy? He went and it was an absolute division and he got on that big guy's back. I forgot his name. He's also very popular. Yeah. And he jumped straight back.
Rico Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens in real life.
Yeah.
But Marcelo's an animal.
So when I see how they adapt the rules, I understand something like that. But the rules have changed. But I saw something that I found really disturbing. And these guys had to be white belts. And one guy got in another guy's guard. And the guy in the top, who's in the guard, reaches over with a rape choke.
Those are black belts.
Pardon me?
Those were black belts. It was an IBJJF no-gi competition.
Yeah.
And they were doing it the closest. The mat was really where they were really close to the table, and the ref was right behind them.
I think so. Anyways, the guy got choked out from a rape choke.
Yeah, that was a fight sports black belt, and I believe
Patagonia. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
But whatever, if anyone is in a competition who does not know how to defend, if someone extends their arms in your guard, and then the captions started to read, well, they need to adapt the rules so the guy can't choke him out from there. I'm like, what? Yeah. The guy who's teacher.
They were black belts. I know what you're saying now. I know the video. They were black belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, put it this way.
If it's the same video, then they were totally.
I would not want to be there. I wouldn't want them to say, oh, yeah, Richard Bresler taught me that.
Yeah.
I mean, then their teacher should be, I feel like my parents saying this, ashamed of themselves for kind of saying like, what? At least you put your arm up in between their arm, chokes over. Or how about grabbing, twisting, going for an arm lock? I mean, it's like, even if you can't get the arm lock, your arm goes up. I mean, sorry, I got a little upset.
It's okay.
We get it.
But the comments are saying we need to adapt the rules. I'm like, what? This is what's happening in jiu-jitsu that really disturbs me because it's turning into a la-la sport. Like I said.
Well, it's a sport.
Well, yeah, but I think that I believe that there's enough room for everybody. I believe that.
I'm not saying it's not, but look, the guy that I told you about that contacted me, we've had conversations, and he's still helping me out. And then one of the things that he wrote for my site, and captioned by me saying, "Yes, I love this sport called jiu-jitsu." And I contacted him. I said, "Do not call jiu-jitsu a sport. Call it what it is with a sportive aspect. But jiu-jitsu, the way I learned it, Rorion didn't say, 'Hey man, want to come and learn this really cool sport?' It was a self-defense. It was a martial art with a sportive aspect. And just that people are calling it a sport now, it's diluting it. So I'm a little touchy. And like I said, I'm not here to say don't compete."
Yeah. I was going to say, I do believe that this is something that's evolving. I think this is probably the longest run that any martial art has had in its popularity, right? You didn't, what other than karate, but it's not mainstream. Like none of those are like so mainstream
in America,
at least in the US, right? Where and we're in jiu-jitsu, but look, jiu-jitsu is such a huge part of the UFC, and the UFC has gotten so big. People know what jiu-jitsu is. I do think that there's room for everybody. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I agree with everything that you're saying, but because it's evolving, that we have to make room for that. Like there's going to be that sports side.
There's money. That's why.
People are always going to try to make money. There is going to be that sports side, and we have to. I feel like I have to be okay with that. Then again, there's the when I say the sports side, I'm thinking a little bit more of like the tournament systems, right? That's going to be one place. Then there's the MMA side, right? You need this to, be able to step in that cage and actually have a fighting chance. And then there is what I consider myself is I'm the hobbyist. I'm looking for the self-defense aspects of this.
Yes.
I'm not so concerned about
therapeutic
and I'm a huge fan of those other things. Not so much the tournament side, like more like the televised tournament stuff, like the fight to wins, the who's number ones, and like super fights, things like that. Like I love watching that stuff. I love the UFC. That's where this all really began for me. Watching boxing and then watching, being introduced to the UFC.
Yep.
And me going, I want to learn that part on the ground. I really want to learn that. I can go to my garage and hit a punching bag. And again, I'm not looking to get into fights. So I'm just looking for that self-defense and the exercise for me. And then I found jiu-jitsu. So I love that part.
Yeah.
I love the hobbyist self-defense side. That's what I consider myself. But I think that there's room for those other sides. And I enjoy those other sides as well. Yeah. But I do agree, again, 100%. I have not been taught a lot of self-defense jiu-jitsu.
I think
that's
what
I'm there for. In my first gym I did, and I'm in a sports jiu-jitsu gym. We don't do a ton of like start here and start with the choke, and it's usually
we do that
a good move of the day, and then we're rolling, and I love it. I'm a brown belt. I love it. Yeah. If I want those other aspects, I know that I have to seek them out, either ask my coach or find that in another place. Kind of like even with the leg lock stuff. I know where to go. I talked to Drew when hey, how do you do this?
I'm gonna put words in your mouth and you let me know if you agree. I feel like what you were saying was after like seasoned blue belt, no matter what you're in, no matter what sort of sport, jiu-jitsu, MMA, real combat situation where your life is being threatened, if there is a simple, basic maneuver that stops that move from submitting you, whether it be in real life or in a fight for points, the basics should take over. If you're doing something fancy and now you're getting rape choked and somebody's in your guard, the fancy thing should stop and the basic jiu-jitsu should take over. And then you could go back to fancy jiu-jitsu because the way you train is the way you fight.
Yeah.
So if there's a distinct delineation.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with what you were saying, Milton. I don't have, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the UFC anymore. And I'll tell you why. When I see where it's just like turns into a boxing match. And I see the amount of damage that these guys are taking. and girls. I mean, what did I see that fight with
Joanna John Jacek?
Asian girl and
Wei Lee.
Yeah, and
Jacek.
No, not
Joanna.
Yeah, Joanna John
Jacek.
Jacek. The boogeyman.
Yeah. And I saw her face, her head after she, I mean,
the one when she looked like an alien.
Yeah, she had the big,
that was a couple years ago. They just rematched the other day, and she got taken out with like a spinning elbow, right? She got,
yeah, and it was a spinning back fist.
Yeah. So she lost to her again, but
even still, I've seen the other fighting too, and I've seen what they're doing, and I don't want to just see a boxing match to go in there because I don't really enjoy boxing personally. So when I just see where the people are just, I mean, like that one embarrassing women's fight that happened a couple of months ago where they just stood in shadow. Yeah, Rhodes.
Oh, Rose. Yeah, but that also happened with Derek. What about Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou? That was supposed to be like a.
Well, there's a few of them that, that are so. Rorion used to say to me, he said, "If you're the best at what you do, put it on the line. Go in and put it on the line. Big deal if you're not supposed to win that day, so you lose, but you at least put it on the line." And that's one of the things that he did in the early days. It just said, you know what? He says, "Richard, I don't care how big they are. I don't care what they know. Just bring them. Let's do it." And then even before I even knew what I was doing, he said, "Look, this is what you're going to do." And I'm like, what? He pretty much knew I wasn't going to get hurt, especially back then, because they didn't know what we wanted.
And let's clarify for those who don't know, you're talking about the Gracie challenges, right? Where you invited people in for the most part, and you might go to other gyms, but
went to their school.
Ways? You go to their school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you would challenge their.
How did that work? Was that like a
you.
Peaceful thing always, or was it always like, was there tension when you would do something like that?
Well, it would turn into tension because, one of the things that would happen is, Rorion would always first say, "Well, I just want to share what jiu-jitsu is." And then the guy would, how can you show my knockout kick if you're a striker or a kicker?
You can't.
Without knocking somebody out. So Rorion would say, "Look, what that is very nice, but what would happen if you were on your back?" And the guy would, always say, the striker would always say, "Well, that'll never happen to me."
Oof. And,
you don't say that, because Rorion's not going to say, "Oh, okay, fine." He'd say, "No, I don't. I think it will happen to you." And we're talking about early on. We're talking about like early 80s when this kind of stuff happened.
Got it.
And eventually, guy would go down to the ground, and they'd freak out a little bit, and so.
I like how you just glossed over that.
I know that you probably answered this, and we talked about it on the last episode, the last time you were on. Did you guys ever lose a Gracie challenge?
No.
Never.
No.
Right? Never.
Yeah.
Wow. And I, so when you're seeing this on a regular basis, this is one of the reasons why I developed confidence, because I saw what Rorion was doing. And then when we went and saw Benny Urquidez back in early 80s, and Benny said, "Well, I think it's not jiu-jitsu. I think it's you." And then, and I had maybe less than a year of jiu-jitsu. And he says, "No." And I got my blue belt in 6 months too, because I was doing private classes. So, and then I stayed a blue belt for 6 years.
Oof.
But anyway, so Rorion said, "No, that's not true. It's not me. It's the art. Richard, go put your gi on." And I was not expecting to do anything. And I'm like,
okay.
What?
Man, you got tossed into the lion's den, huh?
And I walk up to him, I go, "Rorion, we didn't talk about this," or, and he says, "Well, and he says, "Put your hands up. And when I say go, just do a beeline for him." So he said, "Go." And I charged and pulled him down, and they stopped it, because once it went down to the ground, the guy was kind of like,
fish out of water.
Headlights.
Right.
And so, and then, like I said, in different schools and in judo schools and in other what they called American Jiu-Jitsu back then. You know, it was all, even the guys, when we went to a judo school, and I heard, gosh, I forgot who it was, someone talking about when we went to a judo school, because I hear lately, the past few years, people comparing judo and jiu-jitsu. Oh, it's judo that they do. Well, if what we're doing is judo, then all the other judo that we went to, they must have lost what they didn't get the same judo that we were getting. Yeah. Because when we go into a school, you know, and I see Rorion go through these other guys like they were white belts.
It's the beginning.
And then when I was a blue belt, going through some of the people that I went through, and they put a black belt up against me. And the guy took me down. He mounted. The guy had 40 or 50 pounds on me, tried to neck crank me, couldn't submit me. Here's a black belt who has weight on me that can't submit me. And I'm down in the bottom, and the guy's trying to neck crank me. I'm defending enough, and I whisper in his ear, and I said, look, I might not be able to escape, but you'll never tap me out. And the guy went crazy, you know, and finally after another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, where I said, okay, you know, let it go. And I felt good. I felt bad that I didn't escape, but I felt good that this was a black belt and he didn't tap me out. And that's when Gene LaBelle walked up to me and asked me if I wanted to roll. And I went, no. I said, but I pointed to Rorion. I said, that guy over there will roll with you. And he went a different direction. So the things, because I've seen the YouTube videos that Rorion talks about, and they say, oh, that's BS. And Gene was older. Yeah, well, if Gene was older, why the hell did he come to me and ask me, and Gene had 70 or 80 pounds, and I kept hearing the things that the people who knew him, and he kind of liked to hurt people. You know, I'm not dissing him. This is what I heard. And I didn't want to be one of those guys because, like I said, I was 150 pounds and I was a mediocre blue belt at best.
I know the feeling.
So to answer your question about the challenges, we never really had problems with the Gracie challenges.
What's the craziest jiu-jitsu challenge story that you have? Is there anything that really stands out as oh yeah, we got a little nervous on this one walking into this gym or anything?
Who was the closest?
Yeah, no.
Man, Muay Thai is way harder to deal with than judo.
No, I mean, I'm sure you've got some stories.
Well, you know, I think when Jason DeLucia, before Hoist and him fought in the UFC, he came to the academy. And Jason, that guy, you know, he was a scrapper. And there was one time, he got in Hoist's guard, and if he would have connected with the punch, it would have been over. But, you know, Hoist kind of kept him in control and finished it. So that was probably one of the closest things we've seen. But this was after we were in the academy. This was back in the early 90s.
Man, that
so the stuff from the 80s, there was nothing that was, you know, that was close.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like it.
So, Professor, let's go back for those. Let's maybe do a quick kind of recap for those people that are meeting you here on the podcast for the first time. Let's tell them just a little bit about how you got started with Rorion, and let's kind of maybe end at the book, and then we'll get into some listener questions.
Okay, great. Okay. So how I got started?
Yeah, well, tell everybody the story of how you met Rorion and kind of your journey with him. And again, you know, we'll go right to the book. I'll let you have the floor.
It was the summer of 1979, and where I was an unhappy camper, you know, doing drugs, going through life, you know, just flipping hamburgers in the family business. And I happened to have an extra waterbed mattress, you know, one, because I bought a mattress and then I got a set. It's not like I was collecting waterbed mattresses thinking maybe some jiu-jitsu master will buy this. Anyways, I put it on in the recycler, which was a an ads, for which
like a magazine, like a printed magazine.
Yeah,
that's right. A printed magazines we had back then.
Yeah,
kids.
It was Craigslist.
It was the Craigslist. Yeah,
it was analog
Craigslist of the day.
Yeah. So Horion's roommate called my phone, left a message. So when he left the number, I called. Rorion picked up the phone. I told him I had a mattress, and he said that was my roommate. And he said he just bought one. And I was, like I said, I was about to hang up, and he said, but I'm looking for one. So I said, well, I live in the marina. He came down. Long story short, I gave him a super deal on the mattress plus 3 sets of sheets in the package. As he's walking out the door, he says, have you ever done any martial arts? And that's when I said, I boxed for a few months, just enough when I knew how to put my hands up and duck, and then he tells me about his family, that they're champions in Brazil and the whole story. And I'm telling you, the first thing I thought was, yeah, sure you are. It's like, why should I believe you? I mean, it's like, so we did this thing called jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, okay. And he says, why don't you come by for a free class? And I swear, I just thought that I was going to stand across from him and sit there and go, ha! It's like I had no idea what to expect.
What everybody thinks.
People still think that. Yeah.
And I went in and it was great. He had a gi for me. We went to the garage, did a couple stand-up, went down to the ground, asked me to escape. And I couldn't escape, obviously. And then after that, it was just like, okay, I need to learn this. Just from the way that it was taught. The thing that I always had in my mind is that because of movies, is like you go into the studio, and even the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai now, when they go in there, the instructor, at least on the other guys, they demand respect from their students. They treat them a certain way, like they're almost like they're scum. Yeah. Where Rorion was different. He said, look, we're not going to come in here and demand respect. We're going to show you respect. How can you not give the respect back to somebody who respects you?
It's a two-way street.
That's right. Yeah. So I respected him just because who he was, but it was more of a fear thing. It's like, but even still, the more he respected me, that guy's got good taste, man. He's seeing me for who I really am. Anyways, so I signed up, took classes, and, next thing I know, a year later, I'm saying to him, I got to get away from these roommates that are doing drugs. We got a house, rented a house. I lived in, our garage was the garage that's known. That's the garage that people talk about on Hermosa Beach and 3rd Street, and then helped him with the academy and invested in the UFC. And now here we are today.
So tell everybody the name of the book is, once again, we said it before, but Worth Defending.
Worth Defending.
How Gracie Jiu-Jitsu saved my life.
No, Abe.
Yeah.
So truly, if you hadn't found jiu-jitsu, do you think you probably wouldn't be with us? You would have still been that kid doing the drugs and flipping hamburgers?
You know what? If I was still alive, I mean, I wanted to get out of the business that I was in just because I hated the fast food business. I mean, I was in it from 10 years old, and it wasn't anything that I could grow. I wanted to connect with people, and you couldn't really connect because you'd have a customer for like 2 minutes because it's fast food. They come up, they do their order, next. Here, I knew I was supposed to be in the service business, and now I get to spend time with the person, helping them, guiding them, serving them, giving them what they need. So I knew that I was destined for that. Well, at least looking back now, I knew that I was destined for it. But jiu-jitsu really saved my life because it helped me. It gave me something that feeds my soul. So, you know,
I think every fan.
I believe that people either love, you know,
It's
those
black,
of us that train.
It's one of the very few black and white subjects.
Black and white. You either love it or you hate it. You're either going to do it. This is not a martial art that you can just, like going to the gym. I'll go ride the bike in the gym for an hour once a week or once a month.
And we've all heard
this is
horror
not
stories.
This is not that art. You're not gonna just be a casual jiu-jitsu practitioner until you get higher in your belt rank, and then, you know, or you're getting older. Like I train less, but that just doesn't exist for the, you know. Again, you're not. You love it or you hate it.
It's hard to quantify, but from doing interviews like this, and then just also us, how many crazy stories we've heard of people that are just like, "Oh, I went to this gym and they did it this way," and you're like, "What?" Yeah. You know, and it wasn't conducive to them. So it's like it's even hard to tell how many of the people who don't like jiu-jitsu is because they got introduced, you know, or they had a bad experience.
He kind of.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, he's still there though, right? Yeah. There.
What happened?
Thank you to DD214 Fightwear, gear for patriotic rollers. Visit their website, dd214bjj.com, and get 15% off your online order with code JJD. And check them out on Instagram at dd214_Fightwear. Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. All of us here at the Jiu Jitsu Dummies would like to thank the entire crew over at Flow and Roll for their tremendous support. They're renowned for their incredible t-shirt designs, and they've got something for everyone. Flow and Roll quickly rose up to become the premier custom apparel provider for academies, big or small, throughout the United States. Shoot them an email about your custom order, flowandroll@gmail.com, and they'll be more than happy to get you hooked up. Check them out on Instagram at flow_n_roll for samples of their gi and no-gi kits. They conveniently offer flexible payment options too. Head over to flowandroll.com for more details, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu Jitsu Dummies signature tee, now exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your online purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
What happened?
No, we knocked the cord.
I hit the computer and it knocked out for just a second.
You came back. You didn't submit. No tap.
You know, it's interesting that last night there, I one of the students that have been with me for about maybe 8 years now. And remember, I don't teach in a jiu-jitsu school. The school teaches, you know, Krav Maga. It has boxing. It has, you know, a couple of the things. And we have jiu-jitsu twice a week. And when I was at Krav Maga, you know, we had jiu-jitsu there. I taught maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And it was this one guy that been with me. He's a mid-30s, very solid blue belt, very relaxed. You can tell that he was taught by me because just of the way that he does his jiu-jitsu. Very defensive, protects himself, doesn't get aggressive. his girlfriend used to come and watch the class on occasion. We'd say, you should really, and she's a tiny little thing. She's probably 5'2", 5'1", 100 pounds. We say, you should just come in and take a class with her. Oh, yeah, someday I will. And this is like 5 years ago. For whatever reason, and every time I saw her, she'd come and watch the fights with us or whatever. She goes, yeah, I'm going to come in someday. Well, that someday happened about 2 months ago. She came in and she took a class. And I thought, well, and then after the end of the class, she goes, okay, I took a class. Like, stop bugging me now. And next week she showed up again. And I'm going like, wow. She goes, okay, I did 2 classes. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pressure you. Starts coming back. She tells her boyfriend, she goes, let's get some mats.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So he
sounds like a white belt.
He goes, yeah. And all of a sudden, she was doing a move with me last night. 2 months. And I'm going like, oh my God. I texted him last night after class. I go, your girlfriend, she's going to get really good. She's just really into it. So if you have the right environment and the right teacher, that's the thing. If people who are getting into it, go check out the class. If you don't think it's for you, go someplace else.
Yeah. But there's a place that's going to deliver on the jiu-jitsu that you're looking for.
You don't know.
Till my Zumba jiu-jitsu gyms open up.
What's that?
Till my Zumba jiu-jitsu gyms open up.
We won't. I don't know if we should get into that.
I know it's a joke.
Let's get into some listener questions, Professor. Okay.
Okay. Good idea.
Right. So this is interesting. All right. So I'm going to read the handle first. KKHI808. 808. That's Hawaii.
KK hi.
Are there any reasons for why Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is not as effective in MMA as it once was? And is there anything that you believe can improve the effectiveness of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in MMA?
First of all, it's just as effective as it was. The problem is everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what to do. We know what we're looking for. And the guys are getting more and more conditioned. So even that guy at the top of his game, they match you up with somebody at the top of their game. And remember, these are the guys going to the top. So it's still as effective, but in MMA,
that's a big point.
It's
the guy who's winning in ground and pound is still doing jiu-jitsu, according to me. So the guy on the bottom that can't get out is because the guy on top. So in like ground and pound jiu-jitsu for MMA specifically, they love half guard. You'll rarely see them pass to side control because they can control their hips with their hips while delivering blows, right? So it's almost like a pseudo mount to them.
Yeah.
And to me, I see that as jiu-jitsu with strikes, just like how they would do the green mat battles.
Well, that's the 3 parts, right? That's the jiu-jitsu for MMA. That's that side. I'll say,
but I agree with him. I'm saying he's like it's 2 top of the heap, top tier guys that know all the moves, all the defenses. It's the one that makes the least amount of mistakes, which is high level jiu-jitsu at its prime, is the one who's going to lose. I mean, he's going to win. Yeah.
And also, a lot of what I've seen in jiu-jitsu for competitions, jiu-jitsu competitions and MMA, our guys are working mostly on their attacks and not their defenses. It reminds me of the early days in jiu-jitsu when a lot of guys used to get caught in a guillotine and they would get their neck caught and they would like flail instead of at least grabbing the arm. So now when they're getting caught, they're not focusing on how do you get out of this move.
Address the
Some
problem.
of them are.
Address the problem. That's
because,
a big problem.
And Hiran was saying, you know, when he fought Andre Galval in Metamoris a few years back, you know, Andre was saying, "Oh, come back and do my rules." And he said, "Look, I don't have to do your rules. So you pass my guard, big deal. So you get points. So you mount, big deal. the whole thing was submission. And Hiran showed that it was hard to submit him. And remember, he just was playing the first 10 minutes. So he is a defense expert and saying that, you know, and he works the defenses. That's what we did this week. But not enough guys focus on that because they're focusing on attacking. And here I'm with him saying, look, if I tried to fight your game with all the attacks, that's when you open yourself up to get submitted. So maybe that a little more defensive, because if you're with somebody who does ground and pound, you have to develop a good defensive guard. So, and I'm only speculating.
Frames, baby.
I'm going to say that, you know, not necessarily answering this question exactly. Maybe I'm giving more of my opinion about, you know, the new for UFC. MMA is the art. I know mixed martial arts. I understand what it means, but MMA, if you want to fight, it's like you're going to a gym that usually you're going to a gym that's going to give you all of those things, or you're traveling around to different gyms. The fighters in that cage now are starting out as kids, teenagers, learning, going to a wrestling class in the morning, going to jiu-jitsu class in the afternoon, and a striking class in the evening, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah. Right. They're doing all of those things. That was not the case in the beginning. Right. That wasn't the case for some fighters, right? You know, they still say, Muay Thai fighter fighting out of whatever.
Specialist.
Right. He specializes. And there's some that, even though they've been training jiu-jitsu, their jiu-jitsu just isn't at the same level as somebody who from the beginning was training, again, one day jiu-jitsu, one day stand-up, one day, wrestling, one day boxing, one day Muay Thai.
Yeah.
That is the new, if you want to be in the ring.
Jack of all trades.
That is the art. MMA is the art, and that means that you have to learn all of those aspects. And there are so many of those fighters. So somebody that just comes in and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter and is maybe a black belt that didn't train as much in hands, he's maybe not going to be as effective all around. And I think that's what sometimes people look at. They're like, jiu-jitsu isn't as effective. Well, no, he probably just doesn't have hands. He doesn't, he used to pulling guard. He doesn't have a good shot. He doesn't have a good throw. And that other guy
He's not a well-rounded fighter.
That other guy is well-rounded in all of those things, and he can't get off his game. So again, MMA is the art. What do you study to become an MMA fighter? The art of MMA, which that art consists of all of the other arts, anything that you could possibly get your hands on, including jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, right?
Wrestling is a big one.
That's why I think from the outside looking in, that's how it's changed. At least the outside of the UFC and the cage, on the outside looking in, I mean that's what I see as a fan.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have next question. S.P. Flannery. Do you know who that is? Yes. For those that don't know, Sean Patrick Flannery, that he is from, most notably, I think, from the Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
And if anybody watches The Boys on Prime, he's in this last season.
I think, I watched I watched the first season.
Yeah.
I haven't got into it yet.
Season, I think it's season 3. I think it's around episode 5 or 6.
I think I've only seen the first season.
They introduced him as a superhero.
I'm getting close to episode 5. I'm going to have to pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you not know he was in there?
I did not know.
Yeah, it was good.
No spoilers.
I can't say anything more because I'll spoil it.
Well, we just started following each other. He didn't reach out and tell me, so I'm a little disappointed.
Well, he asked some questions here, so we've got 3 different questions here. Let's see. What was your mission statement when you started jiu-jitsu back in the 70s, and how has it changed through the years?
I didn't have a mission statement when I started back in 1979. I just wanted to learn something to defend myself.
Well, there it is. That's the mission statement.
Right. And because of how Rorion put it to me, it's just that because one of the things that he used to say over and over again, jiu-jitsu is the most effective art. So I just went, okay, I want to learn the most effective art because I want to be ready in the street. Mm-hmm. So that was, I guess that was my mission statement.
Okay. what is the most valuable thing? Again, this is from Sean. What is the most valuable thing that jiu-jitsu has given you?
Gosh.
I'm almost going to say your life, because right, you said you wouldn't be here.
My life, the friendships, meaning for my life, because being able to share this art with others and the friends that have, especially because of my book now, the people that have reached out. By the way, I just got a message. I'm getting about maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 a week. Someone just reached, "Hello, I'm a student of jiu-jitsu. I just finished your book. Thank you very much for writing it."
Hey.
These are things over and over that I'm getting.
Trash.
So those kind of things and the ability to help. I mean, I just went up to Washington to visit my mom about 3 weeks ago or so. And while I was there, a guy who read the book is a chiropractor in the Seattle area. I said, "Hey, Richard, would you like to teach a seminar when you're up here?" So having people who want me to come show them what I've learned, what a gift.
Yeah.
That's like probably one of the most rewarding things that jiu-jitsu has given me. It's priceless.
Yeah. Again, I go back to that. I hope that I'm in that position one day. I do love teaching jiu-jitsu. I do.
You're giving back
again,
right now.
And again, I'm not a coach, but I'm just talking about in those small moments when I'm rolling with somebody and I either help them with something, correct something, or they're a beginner and I get to teach them, guard passing and, closed guard, open guard. Those are my favorite days. I will go back home and I won't tell my wife about submissions that I got. I'll be like, "Oh, I got to help out this new kid. We got this new kid in the class. Oh, it was really cool. It was, really fun. I really hope he sticks it out." Like that, I get giddy, over those moments. So I love that. And look, I bring it up a lot because I want other people to feel that. I want people to know that exists like that. Yeah. You may not make $1 million from doing that, but you're feeding your soul when you're teaching something to somebody that could potentially save their life or save the life of somebody else, or maybe they're having, mental health issues and they start doing this. They come back because they felt like, I helped create a friendly environment. For whatever reason they come out. I'm not taking credit for my gym by any means, but in that small way, if I can do that, I love that part. I just love that part of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short that you're not a teacher, because that's what it takes to be a teacher, is that love of teaching.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm.
I used to love teaching autocross. I really enjoyed it and seeing the progress in a student.
Yeah, watching somebody do something that you taught. I mean, there's nothing like that. It's like teaching your kid, to say mama or dad, and then they do it.
All that, those are wrist locks for me. Those are the feelings that I get.
All right, so
and to answer the second part of Sean's question is the mission statement is basically what I just said, as far as being able to just share what I have now, to share what was given to me.
That's what it's morphed into. That's the future of your mission
statement. This is my question. And we might have touched on it once or twice in our phone conversations since you've been on the last time. Do you have any plans to do another book? Are there more stories that you feel that you have to tell? About jiu-jitsu or otherwise? Because I know you do other things.
You know what? The guy that I told you about, whose name is Tom, the guy that I met who read my book, he said, "Richard, you got to do another book." And I'm going like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Hard to write a book.
Yeah.
I have no plan. People are, "Well, it's so good and you can elaborate." I have no plans, because he said, "Let's do another book." I said, "What's it going to be on?" There's most of the stories are there. So I have no plans right now. What I really want to do is that we have sold. How many people do jiu-jitsu in the world, do you think?
I would say less than. I would say less than 5 million.
That are at jiu-jitsu
around the whole entire world, between Europe and America and the Netherlands. Well, that's also Europe.
I think that might be a high number.
Well, it's over 1 million.
5 million? I don't know. That's a very small portion of the population. That's less than 1% of the population. Yeah,
Well,
over
we'll
a million.
say
Over a million.
Okay. We have sold
I take that
a
back.
little over 3,000 of these. Maybe I'll start thinking about a second book when we hit 100,000.
Yeah, 1%, 10%.
People have commented on the book about how I was vulnerable and all this stuff. And I just said, look, I was just basically, we've had conversations, Milton. In other words, I wrote the book that, Scott brought to life the way that I am in a conversation with you. Mm-hmm. I pretty much share who I am or who I was back then, and how much jiu-jitsu has helped, and also the history with all the people that are doing this. I would like, and there's quite a few people that know me that are black belts that have said, Richard, not enough people know who you are. Not enough people know the history. So I would like, it's not that I have a craving to be known. I want people to know that this started in the U.S. Basically, Rorion came here in 78, but that's when it really started, was when I took my first class in 1979. By the way, next month, it's 43 years for me since I started. Oof. So that's my real number one goal. As right now, we've hit a little over 3,000. My next goal, I want to be 10. And then from there, I want more people. I'd like to do seminars and expose people to the jiu-jitsu that I learned.
Do you have an audiobook version of it?
Yes. There is an audio.
Did you read it?
Pardon me?
Did you read it?
No, I didn't.
You got a good voice. You should read it.
Thank you. I was told that, but I'm a good speaker, but when it comes to, if I just sat down and started reading, like, the two skittered across the mat and into the cage wall, then onto the cage door, which swung open. The referee stopped. I mean, for me to do this, I'd be stopping, phone would ring. Oh, crap. It takes, Scott did a good job with that. Maybe eventually I might do it. I might even go on YouTube and read a chapter now and then. But thank you.
It'd be dope.
Pardon me?
I said, it'd be dope if you get to like that 10,000 and now you have like a new robust following. Maybe do like an extended version where the other person still reads the book, but you have blurbs, like add-ons to those stories.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, with your voice.
Can I say that?
You could have
I have
Christopher
read the book.
Walken.
Yeah.
Read the book for you.
Yeah, that's paper, bro.
It could be.
I read the book before we spoke on the last podcast. This is the truth that I had not read another book cover to cover, I don't think, since I was a kid. I can't remember any other book. I've started books and put them down.
Goosebumps.
Even in high school, I never finished one of the assigned books.
You pick it up, you put it down.
Yeah, kind of read it, skip chapters. Almost every night, sat and I would just tried to read a few pages a little bit before we were going to be speaking. And then it came a point where I couldn't wait to get to bed. My wife will hate me for saying this. I couldn't wait to get to bed. She even bought me a little light, one of those little, put around your neck and had the two lights. She was so happy because she loves to read and my daughter loves to read. She was just so happy that she wanted to give me the tools so that I continue to read. That's the last. I have started.
Black Belt at night reading.
We did receive another book from a guest. I've started that book, but I usually read it at the gym.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm like posting on social media at the gym. Like I'm taking that time to post for the podcast.
Send me the audio file.
But I love the book. I highly recommend it. I am one of those 5-star reviews. If you haven't checked it out or you haven't read it yet, go check it out. We'll put a link in the description.
Yeah.
All right. We have one other question from I should call him Professor Flannery. He is a black belt. Okay. This is Sean saying, if I place a suitcase in front of you with $1 million of cash inside, would you trade your jiu-jitsu in its entirety for that suitcase?
Today or 30 years ago?
Yeah, inflation.
Today, if I place a suitcase in front of you, $100 million, would you take it? And you had to give up everything you knew about jiu-jitsu.
$100 million.
That's $100 million.
I say $100 million.
That changes things.
Yeah, later.
You know what?
Yeah.
I would, the only way that I would do that, as long as I could get someone some great teaching and have $100 million and then go, okay, like Rorion, I want to hire you and I want you to teach me a class every day. But no, I would not trade, because who cares? I mean, look, money's great, but without meaning to do what I do, it's like, no.
Yeah.
You know, with 100 million, you can create a whole new sport, right? Or actually the same sport, jiu-jitsu, but call it something else completely.
We don't want to call it a sport here today.
And
you're calling jiu-jitsu a sport.
You know,
you are not listening to the beginning of the podcast.
That's the Murphy's Law thing. You know, if it's going to go wrong, it will go wrong. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Yeah. Doesn't mean something's going to go wrong.
No, with me it does.
Yeah.
It's absolute.
All right, no, we have one last question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, to answer the question, no, I wouldn't trade for what I know right now.
Yeah.
Neither would I. Oh, maybe 100 million.
100 million, maybe 50.
100 million. I don't have any good Gracie stories. I don't know.
I'll just start doing Sambo.
I do Gator Brawl.
I'll do Sambo. No, man.
Brazilian Gator Brawl.
I've never been a millionaire, but I've had a lot more money than I have now.
Yeah.
And I truly saw the whole money does not buy you happiness. I didn't have millions, but I had a lot of money. I had a lot of the things that I thought I wanted, and my life was not as good as it is now.
A lot of successful professionals do jiu-jitsu. I've learned that. Like the majority of the classes are LEOs. Would you consider like a firefighter an LEO? I don't know. But anyways, like I just want to include them. First responders are always in there. They're dealing with people all the time. And then I always run into like executive type people or people that do stuff even super professionally. Like they're the best at carpentry or the best at. So I feel like that iron sharpens iron thing is like really real, not only with training, but also with like
carry over into your personal life.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn.
Conan.
Yeah, the friends that I had, I could say maybe just a handful of the friends that I had before I did jiu-jitsu are still friends, acquaintances now, really, you know, like because of Facebook and Instagram, you keep in touch. Every one of my good friends or anybody that I respect, they're all jiu-jitsu. With the exception of Bo, who doesn't do jiu-jitsu yet. You know, they're everybody I know, anybody that I see, that I go out for a beer with, it's jiu-jitsu. It's somehow I know them from jiu-jitsu. Junior,
common denominator.
You, Mauricio,
right?
You know, Ray, clients.
We've only known each other for like 3-4 years. If you think about it, I say we're pretty tight.
It's given me some of the best friends and the best people that I've ever met in my life. For the most part, I don't think you don't meet too many dirtbags in jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu weeds those guys out.
Yeah, they weed them out real quick.
Yeah,
or they change them. Sometimes they start off dirtbaggy.
I know one or two.
And then they get less dirtbag.
I might have been one of those. All right, Professor, we have one other question. The handle is devoted. What is your favorite move, sub, and sweep? And what's your favorite thing about jiu-jitsu?
My favorite move, I guess, sweep would be when someone, because one of the things when I learned jiu-jitsu, we didn't give things a lot of names. Rorion would just say, you know, you jump up, you do this, and you do the arm lock like this. But there's a move where someone's in your guard and they're driving their weight on top of you and they have their arms on you. And it's a little hip bump. Bring the arm across. I reach over, hold their back, and just pull them straight up and mount on top of them. It's one of the things that I've done for so much. It's my favorite. I love teaching it. A lot of times when I go to do it, I go like, oh God, they're going to see it again and they're going to be bored. But I love this so much. And I don't teach it very often just because, you know, some of the people who know me, that's like, oh God, it's like, I don't want to have to tell the story, but you know, that move, because it's so easy to do. It's easy, but when I see people try to do it and they struggle, you know, it's like a lot of moves. Once you understand the technical side behind it, because a lot of times people have problems doing it because the person in their guard is bigger than them and they can't do it. And I'll come over and I'll take that big person and who maybe has 50, 60 pounds on me, and I get them in the right position and they sweep. And I just found a way to modify it to make it easier. So, you know, again, that goes back to also the gift of why I like teaching, because I find little ways to help my own technique as I get older.
Yeah. That was kind of one of the things I was saying before about teaching, and how I felt like I was better with technical stuff when I was a white belt than even now at brown. That's one of the reasons, you know, that's one of the selfish reasons that I like to teach, because it helps me remember kind of that flow of those basics, where my foot's supposed to be. By teaching somebody where their foot needs to be, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I don't even do that. What am I? I'm teaching it, and I forget to do that. You know, you're caught up in a heavy, you know, an aggressive roll, and now it's muscle, and you know, and I forget some of those. It makes me kind of calm down, remember, and I think it helps my game.
You've been there before,
so, yeah.
And my favorite sub is the triangle.
Favorite sub triangle.
And one of the reasons why is the way I learned it. The way I do it now is different, because I had a class with Rorion Gracie about 12 years ago. He called me up and he said, "Hey, Richard," now, out of the blue, he calls me. He goes, "Hey, why don't you come down and take a class with me?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, what, you want me to come down and do a group class?" He says, No. Just come down and let's do it private. And I'm thinking, well, are things that slow at the academy where you have to solicit, you know? And Rorion was, you know, charging a few $100 for a half an hour back then. And I went like, you know, and I didn't want to say like, how much are you going to charge me, Rorion? You know, but I said, look, I know you're expensive. And he goes, "Richard," he said, "just come down and take the class." And I remember I said, "Okay, look, but I don't want you to give it to me." He said, "Okay." He says, "I'll tell you what, just bring me 3 avocados." So I went down and took a class with him, and I videoed it. And back then, the way I videoed it, remember we had these little things that are kind of almost obsolete now called digital cameras.
It was digital, at least, not VHS.
No, I had I think it was a Kodak.
Ooh, nice.
Camera that, you know, I put on video, and we put it on the floor in there. And he showed me how he does the triangle, how they start to do it in the curriculum at the academy, and especially how you do it if you're in a situation where someone's throwing punches at you. And this is the way that I show the triangle now. I don't show it the way that I used to before. It has more steps. But when I start showing this, people start hitting the triangle more often.
Thank you.
So, you know, just doing that triangle and the way that he has modified it to make it easier to do, because I don't like it. You know, one of the things I keep telling the students, I says, look, you get stacked up in your 20s, it's like you recover. You get stacked up in your 30s, you recover. You get stacked up in your 40s, you kind of going like, oh man, I don't want to do. You do it in the 50s, you go, you know what? I don't even want to do that move anymore. So I started showing this because now that I'm 70, I do not like being stacked up, period. I mean, so I show it. The way I teach jiu-jitsu now is to show how to avoid injuries if possible. And doing the triangle the way that he showed me is just, it's really effective.
Love to be like a fly on the wall in that academy.
I think a lot of people. Well, just I'll give you my email later.
Send the video.
Yeah.
just share the video with us. All right, Professor. We've done like a little bit of a speed round at the end of the episodes. I think that I did this with you before. We're gonna go down some of these real quick now. Some of these we may have to. I'm gonna go down even if we might have touched on something before. But gi or no gi preference?
Gi.
Gi. Takedown or pull guard?
Pull guard.
Okay. Do you watch any jiu-jitsu, any events when you're not training? Are you somebody who watches some of these events, whether it's IBJJF or flow grappling and things like that. Do you watch any of that stuff?
Not really.
Not for you?
Yep. That's common.
Okay. It's actually more common than people saying, yeah, guests saying, I love it. Some of the higher level people, especially when they compete, they don't watch some competition film on people they might be up against, but they don't sit and watch the events. They'll watch if a friend is training or if it's a card that they were on, they'll watch it back. But most people, I think more often than not, we hear that they don't watch.
Too busy.
So I won't ask the next question. We won't ask you about your favorite competitor. But what is your, now that you're in your 70s, what is your ultimate goal in the world of jiu-jitsu?
To just keep spreading the message, spreading the jiu-jitsu that I learned, and just keep showing the basics and let people know that jiu-jitsu is for, I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's for more people that think that, just in my own experience, people have come to, because they'll take a class over. I teach it here. Hey, Ricky, this is for you. I teach at a place called 360 Self-Defense. It's by LAX. And he teaches, Rick is a great guy. He's a brown belt and Krav Maga. He's an excellent stand-up fighter. And people come in and he offers 2 weeks. So when they come in and they take a class, and then they'll do it on a night that I teach, and they'll come and they'll go, hey, you should really take jiu-jitsu. And they you see the way people are, I don't know about jiu-jitsu. And they come in and take a class and they go, oh my God, that was so much fun. I want to come back. That I have to keep doing because I want them to know they're not going to get hurt. They're going to learn. And this one girl in particular, she came in not very confident, had some issues. And I said, look, I have a book out called Worth Defending, cheap plug. Anyways, I said, check it out. And it gives you that, I think you might like it. Anyway, she read the book. She went out and bought a gi. It's like, oh my God, I got to do this. And now she's been like, she loves doing it. She goes, hey, do you do privates? So having that and having like that other girl that I told you and some of the other females that have been in class, this is something that I want to do. I want to help them be able to defend themselves and show them the art that I learned.
And let's tell everybody too, right? The book isn't just for other jiu-jitsu practitioners, right? This is for anybody thinking about doing jiu-jitsu. This is for people who want to kind of get some of the backstory of how the UFC started, right? There's stories about that. So it's not just for, if you do jiu-jitsu, you should read this. I think anybody could read this book and take something away from it.
And one of the things that I was reminded of is that for the first 30 years of my life, because of the grades that I got in school, I walked around thinking that I was stupid because I thought grades on your report card basically dictated your intelligence. So when I was getting D's and fails because I was so ADD, I was just like, in geography, I'd be looking outside and, looking around the room, seeing little pretty girls in class. And, I couldn't focus. So, I wouldn't get a good grade. So I thought, well, I was stupid. And then when guys like Rorion or someone else when I found things that I like doing, I thought, well, I said, look, Rorion, thank you very much, but I don't think I can learn this. And he went, no. He said, you come to class. He said, you'll learn it the way you're supposed to learn. And when people would tell me, Richard, you're smart, you're intelligent, I thought, well, you don't have to lie to make me feel good. Like Rorion really needs the money that bad. He's telling me, hey, don't worry about it. Just come to class. So what it did and and the people that can relate to it, when I tell stories like that, people have said, wow, man, that's the way I felt. So when you find something that you like and you find a good teacher in it, we're very easy to identify with, like I said, I am stupid, that kind of stuff. So to walk around for 30 years thinking that you're stupid doesn't do much for your self-confidence or your self-image. So it took me a little while, but finally when I got into my 40s, I kind of remember, and then I also got into some really good therapies too. were more fun than anything. I started to realize, wow, I like this guy. Talking about myself, I really like who I am now. So a lot of that is because of jiu-jitsu, because of my ability. It changed my belief in myself. So, and I tell that in the book. So it's not just for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a big part of it.
Anything you would change? Any regrets about your journey?
I guess I wish I would have done less drugs.
Awesome.
It's, I think that kind of took me to where, I needed to go. And maybe if I would have done less, who knows? But I mean, I had a couple bad years, but other than that,
70s, Santa Monica.
It is what it is, man.
The dog days.
It is what it is.
I'll let you hit him with the last question.
It was a tough environment. All I'm saying is did all right. This is a pretty important question, actually. Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
I remember your first answer.
It's for the new listeners. Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
I wash it.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Only for one reason. For one reason.
What is it?
It's because it's so stiff. And I wanted to kind of break it down a little bit. And my belt was made by John Awano. So it's kind of like, it's not, my stripes are not taped on. It's kind of like he sews a patch on there. So I don't have to worry about the tape falling off or anything like that. That's the only reason that I wash it, just because it's a good quality belt, and I like to break it in a little more. Look like I've been a black belt longer than I have. It's so new, and
How long have you been a black belt?
I don't know, 20 some odd years.
All right, could wear whatever you want.
But it's a newer belt.
Yeah, I know. You got to get a new belt.
All right, Professor. Do you want to say hello to anybody? Do any shout outs? Mention anybody that we didn't get to talk about during the episode? I'll give you the floor.
The guy that I went up to Washington, who got me the seminar, again, because he read the book and liked it and reached out, and he arranged this seminar for me. It's interesting because one of the questions came from Sean Patrick Flannery. This guy's name, he's a chiropractor, is Sean Flaherty.
Okay.
Oh. Is that like the golf guy from the Golf Channel?
Pardon me?
Is that the guy from the Golf Channel?
No, he's a chiropractor in Washington State. He helped set it up, and Sean's been a good guy. And then there's another guy, Sean Sherman, who's a black belt up in San Luis Obispo. And, these guys have they've been out there to help support me, and not to mention Tom, and I could give a whole list. And again, I always like to give thanks to Rorion Gracie. In spite of what people may think about him, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. Yes, I helped him out. Yes, I supported him, but it was his dream to come over to the U.S. and spread this wonderful thing while we're all together. So,
okay, good. We'll leave it there. Don't hang up. Don't go anywhere. We're going to say goodbye for now, but we're going to come take some pictures with you by the screen so that we have some promo stuff. But I really appreciate you reaching out. I really appreciate you coming on again.
Thank you.
You're welcome here anytime. So just let me know next time you want to come on again. We were recording, I think, twice a month back when we first spoke. I don't know if I left my job to do this more. So we do it for a month, once a week. And then I opened up a little marketing company as well to, just to kind of maintain my income. But, pursuing this dream of doing the podcast more since we spoke last. So I'm not sure if you knew that. So we do a lot more. So you're welcome to come on anytime.
Great. Thank you.
All righty. All right. Thank you,
pleasure
Professor.
meeting you,
Again, don't
Professor.
hang up. Hang on a second. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. All of us here at the Jiu Jitsu Dummies would like to thank the entire crew over at Flow and Roll for their tremendous support. They're renowned for their incredible t-shirt designs, and they've got something for everyone. Flow and Roll quickly rose up to become the premier custom apparel provider for academies, big or small, throughout the United States. Shoot them an email about your custom order, flowandroll@gmail.com, and they'll be more than happy to get you hooked up. Check them out on Instagram at flow_n_roll for samples of their gi and no-gi kits. They conveniently offer flexible payment options too. Head over to flowandroll.com for more details, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu Jitsu Dummies signature tee, now exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your online purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, very cool. A lot of knowledge there.
Perspective.
I always like when he when
it's cool. Like he was very, very direct about what he meant, but being very careful not to be disrespectful because he knows that there's plenty.
That's a hard.
I was going to say respectful. He was very respectful of the other sides
but
of
very
the art.
Stern about what he believes.
Believe it or not, we have this problem in autocross, the same exact comparison. People call it, some people call it a sport, some people call it a pastime, some people call it driver development, like an educational thing. You know what I mean? Like the way it would be self-defense for jiu-jitsu as opposed to sport. So I totally get this. I totally get this.
But I truly do believe, and I didn't want to in any way be disrespectful to him. I get where he's coming from, and I agree with everything that he said.
Yeah. About what he's saying.
Yeah. About what he's saying. Yeah. I believe
like don't put any words put any words in his mouth. It's very easy to do. I do believe that we have to make room. As you know, it's like anything. You become more conservative as you get older. He's always been that way, and what he's saying is that we can't lose the self-defense side of martial arts, and we're losing it because of these other applications.
And it's because
he's always thought that. I believe that we need to be open to that MMA side and the sports side.
Yeah,
it's a fun part of this, and you know. There aren't many sports where like you really get to we get to do that thing that those pros are doing. Like we might be at the on the same mat with somebody that's famous, right?
We could go to a competition and be on it
face one of those guys.
Well, I mean, if I stick around with this, I'm the same age as what's his name? Why am I blanking his name? He's like I love
Leandro Lowe. You saying Lowe?
Yeah. Well, I'm the same age as those guys.
Yeah.
So if I'm a black belt in 8 years from now, and they're masters, the same masters division that I am, I could sign up, and if they're doing that,
because once it's black, it's still
it doesn't
matter.
How many stripes. Yeah, exactly, and they're not going to reach coral by the time I'm black, hopefully. Yeah, so it's crazy. There's not a lot of sports where you could play with Michael Jordan, or
yeah. So I mean, I do like that side. We're both fans. We like watching the UFC,
right?
And I know I don't watch as much as I wish I could, just because of
who knows.
Life.
We might feel exactly like that at 70.
Yeah, I mean, remember, there's. Remember when Nick Salas was on, and I was telling him kind of that we.
He said we
thought about the same way, right? There is room. There are people that our message is going to resonate with, and there might be people that it's not, and they're not going to listen to us. And the people that it does, they are right. And it's the same thing with his message.
There are
people that are going to gravitate to him because of that message that message that he's giving resonates with them, and it does resonate with me. I do wish that I did more self-defense style jiu-jitsu.
It's like ice cream, man. There's like a ton of different flavors. Yeah. There's different flavors for different people.
Let's get to the unboxing of.
Can we do the
BJJ box?
pre-unboxing before we even unbox? We have to let everybody know that we did some unboxing before the unbox.
Yeah, we were bad. We got hungry.
We weren't bad.
We got hungry.
Testing the product out.
We weren't hungry. We were testing the product.
Come on, man.
So go ahead and.
So the BJJ box, one of the first things that we got was the pure protein bars. And you had this exclusively. Exclusively. Yeah. You tried this out.
I was very hungry at the beginning of the episode. Yeah. I needed some energy, and I thought that was going to do the trick, and it did.
Yep.
So it came in handy.
How did it taste?
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
I've had these before. I know they make like a really big bar too, right? They make like you can buy the individual.
I'm not too familiar. I'm not in the
pure
protein bar game.
But where are we at here? Pure protein in this month's BJJ box. Delicious.
This next one, near and dear to my heart. I've spent probably close to thousands of dollars on this one product. I used to eat it at 7-Eleven.
I'll be your Van and White this time.
Bam, check it out. It's a plant-based chocolate chip cookie.
Really did.
Yeah, we really ate it.
Yummy.
And
Lenny and Larry's?
Yep. It says new taste. I would say the taste is a little bit more subtle than it used to be before. It used to have like more of a proteiny type of taste.
Plant-based proteins. Did they change the plant-based proteins?
No. It's always been like that. Yeah. I don't know, man. Junie might like that one. He should be reviewing this. And
thank you to Lenny and Larry's.
Yep. Those are good cookies, man. I know you could 100% find those at 7-Eleven.
What else? Yeah. I've seen them in the store all the time.
Yeah.
You know I always see them in Walmart.
Oh, Walmart.
The Walmart supermarket.
I've heard of that store.
Well, down here they have a lot of like. No, let me say, duh. But they have a lot of Walmart supermarkets down here that don't have.
We have Walmart. We have Walmart, not super center, but we have the Walmart.
They're a grocery. They're like a Publix, but it's a Walmart. So that thing, I've seen them there.
Yep. Yeah.
So you got that shirt.
I got the same shirt.
Just small mart.
Yep.
Right. What does it say? Man. 6-minute rounds. Jiu-jitsu soap after. I think they did this. This is a collab, right? It says there.
Bam.
In the card that they sent. Right?
Microphone.
Yeah. I'm not talking.
There's a collab with Jiu-Jitsu soap.
Yep.
Right?
I'm looking for it. 6-minute rounds collab with Jiu-Jitsu Soap Company. It's a $25 value. That's a oof.
Nice.
You know what? Does it feel good? I mean, you've been wearing it.
I got yeah. It's like really soft. And
yeah.
Actually, I also went with an XL. A double XL.
Ooh, I'll even buy a couple myself.
Not because of here.
Yeah, the guns.
Because of the muscles.
I'm not going to sounds like my shirts are not fitting me this way. And the shoulders.
I got you. I'm having the same problem, but with the pants.
It's like the. Got it. I need some more shoulder room.
Yeah, you need.
My wife says it's this, but I say it's the shoulders.
Hey, the BAJ box apparently believes in 6-minute rounds.
Okay.
What about 10-minute competition rounds? Black belt.
What else we got?
Let's see what we got here. Dude, how much have you talked about this on the show?
No, well, I talked about the spiky ball.
No, well, you said things for this part. Yeah.
Just give me one.
It's the roller fitness.
Oh, this is,
it's for the, like, plantar fasciitis. Easy to use self-massage rollers, decrease tension, improve alignment. You have alignment issues in your hip.
I have issues everywhere.
You have alignment issues in your spirit.
We've already eaten half the box, so
yeah.
Take one home.
What? These things are $13?
Excuse me.
Guys, that's $26.
$14.
Oh, he was. I think he put 2 in there for us. I think.
I thought it was 1 for each foot.
You thought it was 1 for each foot. I think it might be 1 for
1 for each person.
Each dummy.
Yeah.
1 for each person.
Them straight foot locks. Coming at you. Vive or Vive bamboo ankle support, bamboo charcoal compression. Charcoal is good for odor control.
Smell, right?
Yeah. Temperature regulating, antimicrobial fibers, machine washable.
Let me see.
We do foot locks in the gi over at my neck of the woods. I'll see. Sometimes my ankle hurts.
Yeah. That's yours.
I'll let you. My wife has a janky ankle. I'll give it to her. Yeah.
It might be too big for her. I think it's an XL.
Is it?
Large and or XL.
1 pair, large and extra large.
For a female Bigfoot.
It's like a
shot. Report back.
Yeah, I'll see.
We got anything else?
I'm not gonna say yeah, we do. I'm not gonna say she's got a big foot.
One
Life doesn't stink. Raspberry green tea, stink bug. aluminum-free deodorant.
Nice.
Can I keep this one? Well,
Go for it. Dale.
Nice.
My wife actually just bought me a new deodorant. Deodorant. That's a shout out to my boy, Anthony Bulger
I've been
Williams.
Experimenting with some other stuff.
Oh, dude, we got more. I must. What do we got here? Ooh, monkey tape. Recovery balm.
Smells good.
I think he's sending 2 because it's 2 of us, maybe for both of us to recover.
Sorry, Bo.
Yeah. Well, he needs to do stuff that.
It's all right.
You don't roll.
It's all right.
How many grips did you break this week?
Monkey tape recovery bomb.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it.
Very cool.
I like how it looks.
Me like it. I like gifts.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Got it.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, check them out at thebjjbox.com.
$10 off your first order
With
code JJD10.
yes, there you go.
That's
You're
right.
getting good at this. And check them out on Instagram at the BJJbox.
Or the BJJ box. Depends. Is it data or is it data?
Data.
It's the same.
Dada.
All right, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. You can check me out at Uncle Milty BJJ or at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies.
That's right.
On Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, you can click the link in the bio for all the ways to watch, listen, and support.
JJD_DJJ69.
You said it so fast.
People
Bo?
know, bro.
Where can people find you?
At BADWERKS. Bad Works.
Bad works.
On IG.
No trabajo.
Very cool. Again, thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, Jiu-Jitsu.
Take it easy, everybody.